It's been a bit of a back and forth on Sunday after Colombia refused to allow two US deportation flights to land in the country. Each had about 80 or so Colombian citizens who the US says were illegal migrants in the United States. That back and forth then led to the Colombian president Petro to post on Twitter saying that they wouldn't be bullied. Donald Trump then came back and said, well, we're going to put tariffs on you if you don't acquiesce to our demands. Well, then Petro went back onto Twitter and said, your blockade doesn't scare me, and threatened 50% tariffs of his own on American goods. And speaking of a travel ban that Donald Trump also threatened, he said, quote, I don't really like traveling to the US. It's a bit boring. Well, now those tariffs are now no longer happening. We are hearing from the press secretary of the White House, Caroline Leavitt. In a statement, she said, based on this agreement, the fully drafted tariffs and sanctions will be held in reserve and not signed unless Colombia fails to honor this agreement. The visa sanctions issued by the State Department and enhanced inspections from Customs and Border Protection will remain in effect until the first plane load of Colombian deportees is successfully returned. No news on when that first shipment is now going to be arriving in Colombia, but we can expect it probably to be sometime on Monday. But it's definitely then a win for Donald Trump politically as he tries to push forward his Make America First Again message that he has been putting forward to his base.
A win, you say, Fraser, and one I imagine Trump will be wanting to replicate with other neighbouring countries and indeed other countries across the Americas.
Yeah, if you look at the end of the statement that we heard from Caroline Leavitt, that kind of makes itself quite clear as well. In it, she says, today's events make clear to the world that America is respected again. President Trump will continue to fiercely protect our nation's sovereignty, and he expects all other nations of the world to fully cooperate in accepting the deportation of their citizens illegally present in the United States. There has been some concern over these flights. In the recent days, there have been numerous flights to Central and South America, and earlier in the week, Mexico rejected one of these flights for similar reasons to Colombia. There was also concern over one flight that landed in Brazil with migrants returned in handcuffs. Well, the Brazil Foreign Ministry demanded answers from Washington for what it calls degrading treatment and also bad conditions that were on that plane. The migrants that were on there interviewed by the news agency say that they weren't allowed water, they weren't allowed to go to the bathroom, and that it was very hot on the flight, with the flight having broken air conditioning. Well, one government source tells the AFP news agency that that flight was not linked to Trump's orders, but rather to a 2017 bilateral agreement that the US has with Mexico. But we're still waiting to find out more information about that flight and about this whole scenario more widely.